Here are 5 delicious recipes made by Foodbeast creators that use edible flowers. You guys ready to see? Let's cook with some flowers today. These beautiful orange flowers are known as flor de calabaza, aka squash blossoms. Traditionally, most people add these edible flowers to their quesadillas. They're a great vegetarian option and melt perfectly into queso Oaxaca. Now to prep these flowers, it's actually pretty simple. All you need to do is remove a few parts from the outside of the flower and the inside. The only things that should be left over are the orange petals. Now, as I was devouring this quesadilla, I had a brilliant idea. I'm gonna take that TikTok tortilla trend and cut a slice in this giant flour tortilla to make an ultra cheesy quesadilla. Here I have queso Oaxaca, the flor de calabaza, pepper jack cheese, and mozzarella. Gonna flip this all over so that I get a nice layered quesadilla. The great thing about this hack is that you can customize the insides with any filling, so go crazy. But one thing is for sure, you need queso Oaxaca for that ultimate cheese pull. Don't forget to add some spicy salsa and pair it up with a jarritos. Enjoy!
You guys, these are butterfly pea flowers, and we're going to use them to make food ultra blue. We're gonna make butterfly pea flower rice. It's gonna be a super blue color. It's gonna look amazing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a butterfly pea flower tea, and then we're going to use that to cook the rice. Your tea will take about 5 minutes to fully infuse. Then use the tea to cook your rice. Make sure it's obviously washed first, use the appropriate amount of water, and you're good to go. Now I'm gonna show you guys a really cool trick you can do with your tea. Squeeze in some lemon and watch what happens. Look at it, you have color changing tea. Now it's time to reveal the results. She is beautiful. I'm topping this with a soy cured egg yolk and, for a little bit of extra pop, some chives. Wow. Do yourself a favor and make some blue rice today.
Let's make these edible flower and pink grapefruit jellies. Firstly, I gathered some homegrown edible flowers from our garden. Then I'll place 10 grams of gelatin powder and 150 milliliters of hot water in a bowl, then whisk until dissolved. Next, add 50 milliliters of pink grapefruit cordial and 300 milliliters of cold water, then whisk. In a silicone muffin tray, spray with canola oil. Then in each section, fill a quarter of the way with the jelly mixture. Now place your flowers petal side down. I love this part because you can get really creative with the arrangement of these blooms. Once this is done, place in the fridge for about 30 minutes for the jelly to set. Then pour in the remaining mixture and put back in the fridge for about 3 hours. To get the jelly out in one piece, I place in a dish of hot water for about 30 seconds. Use a knife to break the seal. The thin layer of oil from earlier will also help to ease the jelly out of the mold. They turn out so pretty and they taste amazing.
Ready to make my rose cardamom gulab jamuns with this beautiful naturally blue glaze? Flour challenge, you say? Here's flour 2 ways, and it's completely vegan. We're gonna start with some butterfly pea flowers. This is indigenous to South Asia. We're gonna blend that down to a powder and then boil some more into water until all the blue comes out. Mix that with some powdered sugar to make a beautiful blue glaze. Then to make our batter, we're gonna mix some cornmeal, all-purpose flour, baking powder, some sugar, salt, cardamom, and some rose essence. Then add in some coconut oil, plant milk, whisk until nice and smooth and thick like so. It smells lovely. Then we're gonna use a Danish pancake pan, get it really hot, add in some coconut oil and pour in some batter. Once the sides start to cook up, flip it over using a knife. And aren't they such cute little pancakes? Look at that. You want it nice and golden brown. Remove and cool completely before we hit it with our glaze. Dip it into the butterfly pea flower glaze and then some dried rose petals like so. Let them set and then eat.
Hey Food Beasts! This week we were challenged to make a recipe using edible flowers, so I wanted to do something delicious and beautiful. So we're gonna make raspberry cake truffles dipped in a rosy white chocolate. Swirl in some raspberry preserves into your favorite vanilla cake, then bake. Once it's cool enough to touch, crumble it up. Add 1/4 cup mashed raspberries and 1/4 cup frosting, then mix it in. Okay, now we have our beautiful dough and we're gonna form it into perfect golf-sized balls. Place them on parchment paper and freeze for about 1 hour. 1 hour hour later, melt some white chocolate, then add 1 teaspoon of rose water, half a teaspoon at a time, as well as some optional food coloring. Now swirl that all in until you have the perfect rosy color. To dip it in, place the cake truffle on a fork and swirl it in the chocolate. Lightly tap the fork onto your bowl so the excess chocolate drips off, then place it on parchment paper. I want it to be extra and cute, so I added a drizzle of icing, but you don't need to do that, and then I crumbled on some rose petals and some pistachio. And that is all. We have our raspberry cake truffles dipped in a rosy white chocolate topped with pistachio and rose garnish. Enjoy! Alright guys, those are all the ingredient recipes. Let us know down in the comments which one your favorite is.